The secret to discipline. Now, when it comes to discipline, the first thing that you have to understand is the illusion that you have been fed regarding the world that you live in, the reality that you exist in. This illusion is the illusion that the physical is the numero uno, and the physical reality that you can see, that you can perceive with your eyes, is the only thing that exists. Within reality, there are 3 different planes. You have the spiritual plane, the mental plane, and the physical plane. What you see is only the physical. The physical constitutes 0.0035% of reality, meaning that what you perceive is barely what's really going on. Now, there are invisible forces at play here, which are the spiritual and the mental. Moving on. The spiritual and the mental are the planes of cause, while the physical is the plane of effect. Meaning that whatever happens externally, whatever happens on the physical, was first internal. Was first something mentally existing. It was first something spiritually existing. It was first something mentally existing. Now, with this understanding, you could then apply that to discipline and habits. Discipline is simply just having the ability to do something when you don't want to do it. That is really what discipline is, right? And habits. Now, there are certain habits that people have, right, which are commonly put under the realm of discipline. Now, these habits will be things like going to the gym, eating vegetables every day instead of, meat or whatever. Having a diet, essentially. What else? Consistently posting every single week. Consistently applying for jobs every single day. Just a multitude of different examples. Now, you get what I'm trying to say. Discipline is really just a habit that is beneficial to somebody, right? That's really what discipline is. And a lot of the habits that are beneficial to someone are given the connotation and the label of delaying gratification. Because, in regards to the gym, you have to go to the gym for a really long time before you see results. In regards to getting a job, most of the time, sometimes, depends on, whatever your beliefs are, you have to apply for a multitude of jobs before you get that one job that you were looking for. Now, upon understanding that whatever is physical was first mental, right? A simple way for you even to calibrate that idea is to look around you, right? Every single thing that you see around you was first a mental image or a mental thought within someone's mind before it was outputted into reality. Those shoes behind me, right? To the left of me. Those shoes were first a product within someone's mind before they were outputted onto the external, outputted onto the physical. That bed behind me was first a mental image within someone's mind before it was within the physical. The world that you live in, the planets that you live on, the earth was first a mental image or a mental thought within God's mind before it was outputted onto the external. Now, upon coming to this realization, you get to conceptualize the idea that your identity is really what perpetuates your habits, instead of your habits perpetuating your identity. And what I mean by that is, the person who goes to the gym and has been going consistently for years, he does not see going to the gym as a goal. It is not a goal to him, it is just something that he does. Because you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the standard of your systems. That's a fucking gem. Write that shit down. Your systems are in relation to who you are. Your systems, essentially your habits, are in relation to who you are. If you are the person that posts consistently every week, posting consistently on that one day every single week is going to be the norm to you. You're not going to see it as anything crazy. Because the truth is, you cannot move past the psychological barrier that you have created within the realm of your identity. Your identity is what stops you from going to that new identity. You need to detach from that old identity and first be within the new identity before you can go from an old identity to a new identity. The reason why is because, like I said before, the physical is only an effect, meaning that no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you hustle, no matter how much you grind, you are not going to be able to outwork your identity. Because the physical is an effect, and what did I say the cause is? The mental. The mental is the cause. So no matter how hard you work on the physical, an effect cannot affect an effect. That is a gem. Write that down. An effect cannot affect an effect. So essentially what you have to do is go within. You have to go inward to the inner dimensions, to the spiritual and the mental planes. Even on a subconscious level, this is known because when you pray, you literally close your eyes. Now, what is you closing your eyes symbolic of? It is symbolic of you shutting out the physical plane, the illusion, to then go inward to the inner dimensions, to the causal realms, to the spiritual and the mental, where you can then plant whatever seeds you want and let that seed sprout and grow into the physical. Now, what happens when people aren't aware of this illusion is they will go to the gym for a week or two, or a month or two, maybe even 3 months, and then they'll just fall off. Or they'll start that new diet for a month and then they'll fall off. They'll start posting content consistently for about a month and then they'll fall off. And the reason why is because they are trying to outwork their identity. They are working one-dimensionally, which is why they aren't getting anywhere. You need to work multi-dimensionally. You need to work on all 3 different planes. Now, upon working on all 3 different planes, any action you take gets supercharged. Any action you take actually has a much larger effect. Any action you take, which is in alignment with that new identity which you've already become, naturally has an effect. Because you cannot be fit while in a state of unfitness. You cannot be wealthy while in the state of consciousness of poverty. You cannot be what you are not. Which may sound, pretty self-explanatory, but when you're actually thinking about it, you're like, oh shit, okay, it actually does make sense. I genuinely can't do that because I am not in alignment with that yet. I need to first work. You need to first work. We need to first work on the inner dimensions before we go outward. Now, how do we work on the inner dimensions, Nathan or Guapo, depending on what you ever like to call me? Well, we're gonna get to that, all right? We're gonna get to that. You're gonna get some. Don't worry, you're gonna get some. I'll give it to you. Pause. I'll give it to you. Pause. So, first of all, upon coming to this realization that the mental plane is, one of the causal realms and the realm we need to work on first before you can change anything within the physical, you need to first understand how the mental plane works. Now, within the mental plane resides this. Well, let me drink some water. Maybe I'm just a bit tired of thirsty. Who knows? Highland Spring, the best brand of water there is, honestly. Real water drinkers know that different brands of water taste different. That bottled water and tap water tastes different. That bottled water in a metal bottle tastes different to bottled water in a plastic bottle. Anyway, let me stop going off on a tangent here. Let's get back to the main point. The subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind resides within the mental plane, and the subconscious mind is literally the perpetrator of the life that you live today. It perpetuates the reality that you live in. Now, even on a physical level, the subconscious mind controls 99.9% of your actions, or 95% of your actions. Somewhere around there. pretty high percentage. Now, the subconscious mind is very different to the conscious mind because it is completely illogical. Your conscious mind sees things as they are. Your subconscious mind sees things as whatever it feels like they should be or they are. Your subconscious mind does not speak any language other than emotion. It only speaks the language of emotion, nothing else. So within your subconscious mind, any information that has been fed within it is information that came from either an emotionally intense experience or an emotionally intense observation. Now, regarding your subconscious mind, it has two features. The first feature is that it cannot distinguish between imagination and reality, and the second feature is that it cannot distinguish or it cannot conceptualize any sense of a past or a future. It only understands and knows the present, meaning that all of the memories within your subconscious mind are things that are happening now, things that are happening constantly. Because imagine your subconscious mind like a USB stick that you plug into your laptop. It constantly outputs the data or inputs the data, I'm not sure which one it would be in this case, into your laptop. And that data is constantly being input into your laptop, and that laptop is your reality. So to simplify it, any memory that's within your subconscious mind is a memory that is constantly replayed within your subconscious, and then also that is also constantly outputted into your reality. Now, with this understanding of the features of our subconscious mind, we can utilize it. We can abuse it. How we're going to do this? I already told you. It cannot distinguish between imagination and reality, and it has no concept of a past or a future. Cool. It cannot distinguish between imagination and reality. So what we're going to do in regards to that is we're going to create an imaginative scene. Now, this imaginative scene is going to be an imaginative scene that confirms we are the person that we want to be, or that we have whatever it is that we want to have. Because once you have something internally, naturally it's going to be expressed externally. That's the whole point of this topic, of this video, of this conversation. Now, your subconscious mind, you're implanting an imaginative scene in it. But one thing that you need to make sure that you know is the gateway of your subconscious mind and entry to your subconscious mind, right? Your subconscious mind, in order for, I guess, reality to not be extremely chaotic, has a gateway, right? Like I said, it speaks the language of emotion, but at the same time, you need to be in a relaxed state in order for the gateway to your subconscious mind to be open. Because think about it this way: if you could access your subconscious like that, like your subconscious was like your conscious mind, where any thoughts you had came into reality, that would be fucking insane. Life would be extremely chaotic, because let's be honest, you cannot control your first thought. You can control the second one though, but you cannot control your first thought. If all of your thoughts were then perpetuated into your reality, life would be extremely fucking chaotic. Bro, you could be, I don't know, driving on a bridge. I swear there's like a really long bridge in Paris. I'm pretty sure it's in Paris or in France somewhere. You could be driving on that extremely long bridge, right? Look to your left and then think, this bridge might fall, or this bridge is gonna fall. Just from that one thought alone, everybody's fucking dead. Like, honestly, it would be fucking long. It would be a really long day. Now, moving on back to my main point before I went off on a tangent. Sorry, I like to do that a lot. Relax. The reason why you need to be in a relaxed state is because your subconscious mind, right, the gateway to it opens once your brain reaches the brainwave state of alpha or theta. Your brain has 4 different brainwave states. Sorry about that. Beta. I don't know why I use this finger. Beta, alpha, theta, and then finally delta. Beta is the state that you're in when you're wide awake, probably the state that you're in now. Alpha is the state that you're in when you're slightly relaxed. It's a state that you're in when, let's say, you're like watching a movie, but you're not that interested in the movie, and you're sort of, you're just relaxed. Or you're just sitting on a beach, just looking at the sky or whatever. That is like the alpha state. The theta state is the state just before you go to sleep. This is the bridge between being conscious and being asleep. It is the state where you feel extremely relaxed and maybe even a bit drowsy and a bit tired. Right. Now the delta state, you can't really do much with that state because that's the state when you fall asleep. So you have no conscious control. So it's not really, oh shit, I hit my mic. You have no conscious control, so there's not really anything you can do. Now, getting into the theta state and the alpha state allows for the gateway to the subconscious mind to be open and for things to be planted into your subconscious mind with much more ease. So relax. How you're going to relax is by either laying on your bed or sitting in your chair, closing your eyes, because, like I said before, you need to cut off the physical plane temporarily, basically, in order for you to go inward. So you need to close your eyes and then just be. And what I mean by just be is literally just think. Let your thoughts flow. All right? Let your thoughts flow. Just relax. And then once you feel relaxed, you'll know you're relaxed once your body feels sort of limp. And I mean, everybody kind of knows when they feel relaxed, doesn't it? But yeah, once you're relaxed, begin to create that imaginative scene. That imaginative scene is a scene that confirms that you are the person that you want to be, that you are the person who has that you are the person who is that. So, loop that scene, and you'll begin to feel a level of emotion well up. Because like I said before, your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality. Now, as that emotion is welling up, keep looping that imaginative scene. Also, make sure that the imaginative scene is in first person, because nobody fucking views their life like it's GTA 5. Nobody views their life from a third person camera. Everybody views their life from a first person. As I'm talking to you right now, all I can see are my hands. The only reason I can see my face is because it's on the fucking screen, because I'm using a camera. Now, make sure it's in first person and keep looping it until you no longer feel the emotion anymore. Also, in regards to the imaginative scene, make sure that you're utilizing at least 3 of your physical senses. Maybe taste, depending on what you're into. Touch, sight, hearing, etc. Alright? Now, once you no longer feel the emotion, stop. Stop immediately. Because when you no longer feel the emotion and you keep doing it, it's going to start to feel like you're trying to convince yourself. And we don't want that, because that just increases the possibility of doubt. And doubt is kind of a killer. We don't want that. So, after you have done this, you are then going to constantly input a thought into your head that lets you know, or that is in alignment with the imaginative scene that you created. This could be a thought. Okay, say the imaginative scene, you want to be going to the gym consistently. All right, someone who goes to the gym consistently will probably be someone who has a good physique. So you have imagined a scene where you have a good physique. Maybe someone's told you have a good physique, or you looked in the mirror and you saw that you have a great physique. Cool. Now, in your head, constantly input the thought. Constantly consciously input the thought. Oh shit, I've actually got my dream physique now. Wow, my biceps are looking crazy. Wow, my chest is actually looking pumped. Wow, my ass is looking big for the ladies. Or maybe for the men, depending on what you're into. And yeah, constantly input that thought in your head. Loop it and loop it and loop it as you go about your day. Loop it while you're washing your dishes. Loop it while you're taking a shower. Loop it while you're taking a shit. Alright? Just loop it while, you don't really have to focus on whatever it is that you're doing. And then as you begin to loop it, that thought will begin to become automatic. Because what a belief really is, right? A belief is simply a thought that has been thought a multitude of times to the point where it has attracted other thoughts on a similar vibratory level and has become automatic. And then it becomes so automatic to the point where it leaves conscious awareness, and then it then becomes known as fact. That is what a belief is. Now, in regards to your identity, one thing that you should also know is is what an identity is made of, what an identity really is. So people will tell you identity is who you are, like for example, the ID card, the passport, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But from a perspective of self-mastery and metaphysics, all that your identity is who you think you are, who you know you are, not who other people think you are, not who your mum thinks you are, not who your dad thinks you are, not who your brother thinks you are, not who your friends think you are, not who your girlfriend thinks you are, not who your boyfriend thinks you are, not who your dog thinks you are, but who you think you are. That is all that your identity is. Now, within your identity, there are a multitude of different centerpieces or keys, whatever you would like to call them. Now, this is simply your expectations, your attention, what you place your attention towards, your emotionally convicted thoughts, the thoughts that have emotional charge, because like we said, the subconscious mind only speaks the language of emotion, your beliefs, which I've literally touched upon like a couple seconds ago. If you didn't even see that part, then how the fuck did you get here? Go back and watch that again. And then, not finally, your perception. And then, finally, your conviction. Now, wait a minute. Beliefs, emotionally charged thoughts, perception, attention, conviction. Okay, I missed one. Your reactions. Yeah, I missed one. I thought so. So, your expectations and your perceptions and your beliefs, how can you see how those even tie in? They all sort of tie in a way. So, like, even working on one will sort of impact another. But yeah, the aim is to work on all of them. Ask yourself this question. Is my perception of my current reality, or my expectations of my current reality, are those in alignment with the beliefs that I say I have, with the beliefs that I want to have? If you want to have the belief that money is easy to come by, or the belief that you have a lot of money, naturally you're also going to have the belief that money is easy to come by, right? And in accordance with that belief, you're going to need to have the perception of money being easy to come by and there being a multitude of opportunities for you to get money within your reality. So within your reality, because that is your perception, your attention will also be on that. Your attention will be you'll be looking for the opportunities. You won't be thinking, oh, there's no opportunities. You'll just be looking for them. And also at the same time, your expectations, you expect opportunities to just appear out of fucking nowhere. Your reactions, you won't even react to things that aren't in alignment with that new identity of you having that money, or with you being that person who goes to the gym. Like, you won't react to the gym closing. You won't react to it raining. So now all of a sudden you can't go to the gym. You won't react to, you feel a bit tired. So now all of a sudden you won't go to the gym. Your expectations for the day will literally to be a day where you've gone to the gym. It'll just be normal. Your perception of the gym will be it'll be something that is maybe even fun to you, right? It won't be what is like on social media, they like to make the gym seem like it is the most difficult thing in the world, like it's a fucking battlefield, like you're going to war or some shit. Or some even try to make it a cock fantasy where the only reason you're going to the gym is because your girlfriend cheated on you and then you got sent a sex tape, or your man cheated on you, blah blah blah, this and that. Like, niggas like to make shit seem worse than it really is, honestly. But anyway, you get the point. Ask yourself if your perception, your emotionally charged thoughts, your conviction, your expectations, your reactions, and finally your beliefs are all in alignment with that desired reality, all in alignment with that desired identity. And then if they're not, then you have to take that conscious control. You have to take that conscious control to then adopt those new beliefs, adopt that perception, adopt those expectations, react to different things, place your attention towards different things. And that is really it. That is really it. And also at the same time, give yourself grace. Don't be too hard on yourself, because you being too hard on yourself is what is going to perpetuate you being stuck in that same old identity. Because when you do anything that isn't in alignment with that old identity, the label that you apply to the action that you took, or whatever it is that you did, or whatever it is that you thought, or whatever it is that you expected or perceived, or whatever belief that you were in alignment with that you shouldn't have been in alignment with, the guilt you apply to doing that thing, to being that person, to being in alignment with that old identity, is going to keep you in that old identity even more. Because the more you feel that guilt and that shame and you condemn yourself, the more you're going to be within that old identity. If you fall off, brush it. If you fall off, brush it. It's minor. Just get straight back into that old identity, into that new identity as fast as possible. Because as quick as you can fall is as fast as you can rise. That is a gem. Write that shit fucking down. As Icarus, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly. Sorry if I'm not. As he fell, he laughed, because he knew to fall means to have once soared. That quote is fucking amazing. I love that quote, honestly, to be honest with you. But anyway, you get the point. Give yourself some grace. You get me? Be easy on yourself, man. Be easy now. Be easy. Because think about it this way, right? You maybe have discovered this sort of information maybe a year ago, maybe last week, even, maybe yesterday. How long have you lived your life without knowing about all of this shit, without knowing about the mental plane, without knowing about the inner dimensions, without knowing about the internal being expressed onto the external, without knowing about your physical world being an illusion, being only 0.0035% of your reality? How long have you lived without knowing that shit? You have lived for an extremely long time. Maybe, who knows, maybe you're 19 watching this, maybe you're 20 watching this, maybe you're 40 watching this. You have lived 90% of your life without knowing this information. So naturally, you're going to fall back into those same patterns that you were in for 90% of your life. But the key here is not to shame or condemn yourself for falling back into those patterns. The key here is to rise as quick as you fell. It's to just go back. It's to just understand that it's naturally going to happen. And a way to mitigate it is to simply just remind yourself, come back to this information, come back to this video, come back to that book you were reading that is in alignment with this information. Come back to it. Constantly remind yourself. Constantly revisit the topic. And that is really it. Wow, it's been 31 minutes. Fucking hell. To be honest with you, I've been in flow this entire video, so I didn't even realize that it had been going on for about 8 minutes. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. That will be all for today, and I hope you guys enjoy your week, man. Yeah, enjoy your week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Who knows? Get some ice cream. Maybe get yourself a Ben & Jerry's. If you're in America, what ice cream is popular in America? I don't know, because I don't live in America. But hey, if you're in Brazil, get whatever ice cream is popular in Brazil. Maybe it's just the one on the cone or whatever. Who knows, man? If you're in France, get you your favorite ice cream. I don't know, maybe get a baguette. Sorry, maybe get a croissant. A baguette is not croissant, Nathan. Anyway, yeah. And that's really it, man. To be honest with you, thank you for watching this video, and any notes that you took, all of the gems that you wrote down, make sure you put them in the comments, because as we know, what you read or what you watch, any information that you take in is not the information itself, but rather your state of consciousness, your level of consciousness in regards to the information that you're taking. This is why when you come back to revisit certain topics, to revisit certain books, to even rewatch certain movies, you'll notice things that weren't there before. You'll notice information that you didn't notice before, or you even notice the same amount of information, but just to a different level of depth. And that is all for today's video. Once again, I think I've said that 3 times now. Goodbye, everyone. It's nice seeing you.